every second, every minute. Man, I swear that she can get it. Saying, you a bad bitch, put your hands up high. Hands up high. Hands up high.
I know he won't custody of the kid.
Oh no.
They went to court and he got visitation rights every other.
God damn.
I don't know, such a story. Everybody got a story.
Everybody got a story, mother. Yeah.
The older one is a little man, you know. She could be a boy.
So good, bro.
Alright then.
Alright, we'll chat. Love you. Bye.
Love you more. Bye.
Love you more. Bye. My mother kills me. She's like, yeah, here's the weekly gossip. No, I'm happy. And thank you so much. I think, you know, you helped me calm down a bit.
How did I help you? I didn't pay for it.
I know, but, you know, you support me so much. And I'm grateful for you.
No, but you know that, Aaliyah, when it comes to you, there's no turning back.
Oh, mother, you're crying.
Please, on camera, do not put it up on that foolish thing you buy from Amazon and all them crazy gadgets, because I don't trust those.
Okay.
You know, you're my girl. What can I say? You know, all I need you now to do is get a good man, a nice man in your life, and let me get that little man.
Sorry for the weird angle. So that last clip that you saw, seconds later, my camera dropped and it broke. And I have been in tears for the last 4 or 5 days, and it was a lot to handle, but I really feel like it's so timely for this video because honest to God, you never know when you're gonna have to be in a situation like this as a content creator. I had so many videos that I need to film. I'm working with 3 brands right now. I'm working with the Bay, I'm working with this skincare brand called microinfluence, and I had content to film, and the only option I had was obviously my iPhone 13, which to be honest, I didn't even bother filming because I really wanted to use my camera, because one thing that I'm really trying to focus on is better quality stuff, even though my 13 is great quality. But it's just crazy because I'm filming this video as a content creator and my camera breaks, and it's just like, what do I do? So I'm gonna put the guy, if you're from Toronto, you're a content creator or influencer, whatever, you video edit, you have a camera, I'm gonna put the guy that I went to because he was able to fix my camera in a week. He charged me $160, and I'm not gonna lie to you, it's a lot of money, but it outweighs, the price of fixing it outweighs the cost of what I would have to pay to get a new camera. The Canon G7X is like #1 vlogging camera aside from the Sony V1, and it ran me about like less than $1,000 for this camera. So it's like, do I pay another $1,000 or I paid $160 to fix it? He charged me $100 for labor, $60 for the parts. And to be honest, it was a lens issue. It wasn't like anything broke. It was just specifically the lens were stuck and dented. But really and truly, it tested me. It made me feel like, what the fuck? Like, imagine if this guy wouldn't have been able to fix it, or if I didn't like Google somebody to fix it right away, because I was gonna send it into Canon and that would have been 6 to 8 weeks, and that's my bag right there. Like 6 to 8 weeks, like I can't go out 6 to 8 weeks the way I have a lot to do right now, you know. So this guy was able to fix it within like 5 fucking business days. Sorry to swear. He like was really nice, and I told him I'll give him a great review, whatever. But yeah, the price of $160 definitely is nothing compared to buying a new camera. So as a content creator, you're going to be faced with challenges like this, where, you know, you might have to use your phone for a second, or, you know, you might have to figure out what you're gonna do for the next couple of days when you don't have a camera. But yeah, I had to cry because when it happened, I called my mother, and actually I wasn't gonna tell anybody because like it was definitely my fault and I wasn't careful, and I was showing you guys this freaking mount, the same thing that I was showing you guys that I put my mount on. It gave out on me after months of having it. I don't know what happened, but it just goes to show that like you have to value your stuff a little bit more. Sorry, I'm like crying. And but anyways, I called my mother to fucking tell her how much I'm so grateful for her, because she really is like my #1 supporter. Today I'm gonna be editing and working on a case study for a client assignment that I'm doing, and then yeah, that's just what the vibe is. So
say baby, what you doing? Where you at? Oh, you got plans? Don't say that. Shut your trap. I'm sipping wine in a robe. I look too good to be alone. My house clean, my pool warm. Just shake smooth like a newborn. We should be dancing, romancing in the east wing and the west wing of this mansion. What's happening? Sweet, so sweet, so tight. I won't bite unless you like. If you smoke, what you smoke? I got the haze. And if you're hungry, girl, I got fillets. Ooh, baby, don't keep me waiting. There's so much love we could be making. I'm talking kissing, cuddling, rose petals in the bathtub. Girl, let's jump in, it's bubbling.
okay, so it officially has been like 6 hours. Sorry for the poor angle and sorry for whispering. I'm still here just finishing up an assignment before I leave, but I just wanted to check in to just basically say that I had a really good time here. So I'm definitely coming back with Maya, because me and her do like weekly study sessions. I was able to finish 2 of my assignments and work on a contract that I'm doing with Laneige. So that content is going to be going out, I think, next week. And yeah, basically just working on this for a little bit, and then I'll probably see you guys tomorrow when I do my full-on Q&A on some of the questions that you guys are asking. There's a lot of questions. I'm really excited to answer them for you. This is the tripod that I use. My mother got it for me, so I no longer use my other one, but I do have 2 tripods. Right now I am setting up to film for a takeover that I'm doing with Black Atlas. It's a Montreal non-for-profit. And yeah, so I'm gonna be filming a juicing recipe and taking them on a daily life, which is basically what we're doing here as well. So sometimes as a creator you are filming like multiple different videos and concepts at once. It's a lot, it's draining. It's 1 p.m. and I hope that I can get this all done by 2. So yeah, I'm gonna just leave you guys here and we're gonna film the process.
Titties on the FaceTime, let him out. God, can we race him? Let me know. Shawty hopping up and take it's time to go. When I put you in the latest, make sure you know.
One look at you.
I'm so excited to film this, you guys. Like, I'm literally so excited. So originally I was gonna do a Q&A doing my makeup, but because I am home right now and I'm not really, it's just early to do my makeup, I just figured I'm gonna just give y'all bare face and bare information. That was so cringe. Anyways, yeah, let's just get right into it. I have a lot of questions. I'm really excited to chat with you guys about literally everything. So one of the main questions was, when did you start just content creation? And my answer to that literally is maybe 5 months before the pandemic. I was in the prime time to start a YouTube channel, just because 5 months in, everybody was home. Everyone had so much time to scroll and watch things and be so consumed by like digital media. So I feel like I started in like the prime time, but that doesn't mean that you cannot start now. And I say that because honestly, the way TikTok and Instagram and YouTube has just given content creation platforms to like everybody. It's so accessible now than it was when I started, and I started 3 years ago this year. So I feel like now more than ever, anybody and everybody can start. So it definitely feels in my perspective very oversaturated, but it's a good reminder to say that like what you do and what you bring to the table is going to be different than what Susie, Ann, and Becky bring to the table. So how do you stand out and how do you be different? And so that's why I feel like I lead, that's how I feel like I lead in every creation brand that I do. I don't like to copy people, but I like to implement what is trending and what matters to me. So hopefully that answers that question. Now, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, when I started my YouTube channel, I did not tell anybody. I started with fitness content because, as some of you guys know, I studied health sciences, specifically wanted to be a physiotherapist. It was very, very tough. My grades were it was not there, let's just say that. The only thing that I really could do is what came after the physiotherapist. And I slowly realized like that passion wasn't for me. And after fighting for my job in COVID, when in scary times, because you just didn't know what was happening, I went back into a field where I just wasn't happy to go back into. And shortly after I quit because it just wasn't for me. So yeah, when it comes to consistency, I'm not gonna lie, when you first start, you are going to be so consistent because there's so much to talk about. People don't know you, but your first video should not be who am I. Nobody gives a fuck. Like, not gonna lie to you, nobody cares. So really and truly, it's stepping into the things that are trending and stepping into the things that matter to you. I personally find that organic content is content that matters to you. A lot of people want to start content creation because it looks cool and fun and oh my god, like the brands and they're sending me stuff. But to me personally, like if you really found this as a passion, you would have started already. That's what I think. So I think like sometimes you have to sort of ask yourself, like, do you want to do this for the money, or do you want to do this because you think that you can share valuable information to your audience? And a lot of networking comes into play. How do you network with people? That's not like DMing and spamming people. I personally don't really like that. If you're a new creator and you're reaching out to me for advice, I'm definitely giving you advice to the most that I can, but it's not spamming so that like all your followers are creators. Like, you don't technically want that. From people who are genuinely curious about the brand that you're promoting. And I love getting random comments from like people with like hard eyes and stuff, but when I tell you, engagement is very, very tough. You're a content creator. If you are someone looking in, you don't realize how much a save helps a content creator, how much likes don't really matter, how much your following doesn't really matter, how much comments. And when I say genuine comments, I mean comments that are like about what you're promoting and not about what the person is like doing outside of that. So for example, if I were to post a hair care video, comments about the hair care is what a content creator and a brand is looking for. It's not really like, oh my god, I love your jewelry. It's like kind of doesn't really, you know, like they're not looking for that. So it's like, I love the comments, but sometimes I'm like, girl, if you don't comment on the hair. Hopefully that helps as well. Now, one of my favorite questions was, what are some brands that you have worked with? So I actually have a list of brands that I've worked with before. I'm gonna actually pull it up. It might be on my other phone. Oh no, it's here. Okay, so not gonna lie to you guys, money comes in like a long time. Like, you don't see money. Not trying to scare y'all, but y'all don't, like, you don't see money right away unless you jump off right away and your content is like, and you like really implement what you're learning from other girls. Like, you'll definitely see money right away. I was lucky enough to see money 6 months into content creation, and here's why. I ended up starting off my channel, aside from fitness, I was doing a lot of DIYs, and people on YouTube always search up how to, what is, how can I, like those are those key words and those key messaging that people are on YouTube trying to search. So when you start your videos like how to do this, or why did I do this, or in what way did I do this, you know what I mean? Like, those are the keywords that people are searching up. So luckily for me, 2 of my videos right off the bat blew the fuck up. One of them is at like 1 million, the other one's like almost half or even more than half of 1 million. It's just, it really is what's I'm still continuously getting paid for, and that's the most of my chunk of my money, which I'm very, very grateful for. But it becomes harder when you are trying to move away from that. So every single day I receive about 50 comments on that video, and sometimes it's hard as a creator when like your passions aren't really DIY. My passions are literally anything that's unniched. I don't like to limit myself. I truly feel like the niched world is really great for some creators, but I like to do it all. I've always been that person, and I personally love to eat food. I'm gonna give you a food vlog. One day I might give you a get ready with me. One day I might do a beauty routine, and sometimes it does hurt my channel, sometimes it does hurt my TikTok, because some people who follow me on certain videos might not want to, or they don't see value in other content that has nothing to do with their interests. So really that's just the price that you pay when you don't want to be niched. Some videos might blow up, other videos might not, and I've had videos like that before, and I really truly feel like it's like a mindset. I always remind myself, like, if a video doesn't do well to me, like, that's okay. That's just a learning opportunity for me to know that I don't want to do that again. But maybe it's just something that I did differently. Maybe it's my editing style. And another really big key thing that I like to tell people is you need to also consume. To be an influencer, to be influencing people, you need to consume. And that means watching a favorite YouTuber, watching, you know, there's girls that you kind of watch and you see the way they vlog and the way they edit. So, you know, my favorite vlogger is like Only Bells. I love the way she edits her videos. I love the way Dana Alexia is like super personal. I love Akayla. You know, she hasn't had a vlog in a while, but I loved her content. And there's a few other girls that I watch as well, but I truly feel like in order for you to really start, you need to also be a consumer. Because I find that girls have a hard time stepping in because they don't watch YouTube. And that's literally, I don't even think anyone's ever said this, but I personally feel like you need to watch YouTube to know and appreciate YouTube. And that's why I feel like I've always watched YouTube. I've always been interested. I've had friends in Montreal who started YouTube channels, and I actually had a YouTube channel with my best friend way back when. It's like 12 years ago. The videos are still up. No, I will not be posting it. But yeah, like I fully wish that I continued when we were younger, because I'm sure me and Aaliyah J would have been like, we would have been blowing up. Like, we would have been that girl. But yeah, so sorry, I feel like I talked about like a lot in like 20 seconds. Okay, so going back to the money question, I was telling you guys that you don't see money right away, and I personally feel like if you're starting out, the best way to do that is by building your resume. You want to build your resume. If you just start content creation and you're asking how to make money, I personally feel like you're not doing this because you love to share your knowledge and what you do. If you're a beauty creator, a wellness creator, a fashion creator, if you want to make money right away, I just feel like there's something that you're like kind of missing. Because when I started my channel, it wasn't how do I make money? Even though that's a great question to ask, it was more like, what do I offer that people can learn? And like, that was my biggest question. I was always like, okay, is this value? Are people learning from this? Like, that is what I wanted as a creator and as a person. Like, I've always wanted to, I'm always that person. I always want to know that when I'm teaching you, you're understanding or whatever. But I truly feel like the best way to start is to start posting content and tagging brands and building your resume. It's so key to build your resume and start making a portfolio for yourself, because that's the only way that a brand is going to reach out. So prior to really starting, I would say that brands started reaching out to me when I started my YouTube channel. To grow on Instagram is like, girl, it's crazy. There's some girls who have been doing it for years, and since Reels started, they have blown up. And it truly is a way of just saying that, like, just keep being consistent. Because even for myself, I actually don't really care to grow my Instagram. I know it sounds really weird as a creator, but I don't care. I personally feel like my brand is on YouTube and my brand is on TikTok, and I love it over there. Instagram is just a picture app to me. When I feel cute, I'm gonna take a picture and post it. Like, that's what I feel like. I feel like the interaction on there, I don't really do as much of, and I can definitely leverage on that. And I've had brands want to work with me and say, oh, can you post this on Instagram? And I'm like, I don't know if people are gonna really interact, because I don't do much stuff on Instagram. But I'm not gonna say that I'm trying or I'm not trying, but I just go with the flow on Instagram. But everything else, I would say that I'm really more crafty and looking at how I can build my platform a bit better. But yeah, back to money. I'm so sorry. Like, when I tell you it's so easy to like go off track, I'm so sorry, y'all. But I hope already in this video you've gained some sort of valuable knowledge. So I wanted to share with you guys some of the brands that I've worked with and a little bit of detail on like why or why not I did it, and then we're gonna go straight into how to pitch and why did I pitch, or how to like accept brands and negotiate. So I got a question on what is some brands that I've worked with, what are some of my favorite brands. So I have worked with a lot of people. Now I've accepted gifting. I only accept gifting now if there is absolutely no deliverables. And what I mean by deliverables is you're not asking me to post about it, you're just simply giving me something and it's my free will. If I want to post about it, that's something that I feel like doing. So I've worked with Caudalie. I actually pitched to Caudalie, and Caudalie is one of my favorite brands. They're actually not cruelty free, so I was a little bit wary at first because I was like, how do I market this? And but then I realized like it doesn't really, I don't need to say that they're not cruelty free. If somebody asks, I'd just be honest with them, and that's how I sort of went about that. But I created an Instagram video for them. They did like it. They did like it, and they did not repost it, but they did like it. Same for Origins. I pitched to them as well. I was able to get some skincare from them, and they actually reposted my content, which was really nice. Both of those I did not get paid for. I simply was building my resume. I've worked with Urban Decay was it this summer? I worked with, sorry, I just realized this list is not really in order, but I worked with Urban Decay this summer, and I think that was the most surprising email that I received, because I simply am a beauty girl, but I don't think I'm a beauty girl where I am like girls are watching me because of my makeup, you know what I mean? So when I got reached out, that's when I knew that what I'm doing is clearly working, because they already can tell that I don't do makeup routines like that, but they reached out to me for a reason, and this was a paid collaboration. And it was a good paid collaboration. I realized a lot of the creators I looked up to were also getting this paid collaboration, and I was just like, how did I get this? Like, I think this is probably, out of the list of stuff that I have here, that was probably the most shocking to me. They were fun to work with, but my only thing about working with brands is that I like brands, and Aaliyah, what's her name? Aaliyah Face, she's a YouTuber. Sorry, I forgot to mention her. I love her videos as well, and Kyra and all the rest of them. Aaliyah Face, she is another YouTuber. I forgot to add her to that list that I said earlier, but she ended up saying something that really resonated with me. But she said something along the lines of, I love to work with brands that allow me to have creative freedom. And I totally agree with that. I'm not huge on brands that are like, say this, do that. I just feel like it's not authentic to me. It's not authentic to like my audience. I'm a real chill, laid back person. My personality shows when I have total freedom to do and as I please. So when things are like, can you redo this, or can you say this again, I'm just like, ugh, like, girl, I don't feel like doing this. But it's a paid collaboration, that's what they want, I gave it to them. Sephora ended up reposting a few other girls that I personally, this is tea between me and you, Sephora posted up girls who I feel like did not even challenge the makeup. So the challenge was basically to create 3 different looks, and the 2 girls that Sephora posted literally did the bare minimum. They absolutely did nothing, and I was like, at least like, I would never wear these looks in real life, but I practiced something and I felt really good about it. And I'm like, it's giving not in Black History Month. But anyways, yeah, that's just between me and you. Okay, me and you. Laneige. I recently partnered with Laneige last year, October. They are so fun to work with. Great brand. I am literally, when I tell you, obsessed. It's so freaking good. I love working with them. They give me creative freedom to create 3 different concepts. It's also been paid. I've never done anything gifted with them, and a really great way for me to make income. Now I'm gonna stop here because this is the first brand that introduced something that I did not know about before. They there's this thing called net 30, net 45, and net 60. And basically what that means is this is how long a brand is going to pay you. So for Laneige, they have a net 30. And I'm not really supposed to, like, you sign contracts, I'm not really supposed to talk to you guys about anything nitty gritty, but sometimes they can offer you net 30, sometimes they can offer you net 60. Now the problem with that is that you might create content for them and give them the content for them to post in like January, but you don't see that money until like the next month or so. So it really is the hardest thing about being a content creator, is just the fact that you don't get paid right away. Now this is not to say every brand does this, because there's some brands that I am going to name here that pay you literally within 7 business days, and we love that. We love that. But there are other brands where you do have to chase your money, and I'm gonna literally get to one of them, so like stay tuned. But it's hard. It's definitely tough as a content creator, as a full-time content creator, when you think that you make a certain amount of money in January, but you don't see that until like April. But yeah, that's my only thing. Versed, I worked with Versed. I did a giveaway, you guys remember that. I've also collaborated with 437 about 3 or 4 times. I recently collaborated with them. I went to their showroom for their new activewear launch. That was really, really fun. By the way, that picture that I did post, they actually took that of me, the one outside where I was sitting down. They took all those pictures. Like, I literally did not have to have a tripod. I didn't have to do anything. They have a really great team, to be honest, and you really feel the culture. I really like that. I worked with Sukin Skincare. They are also a drugstore brand. This was a gifting. I did not do anything. I believe I didn't do anything for them. Myra Badescu, I heard horrible things about them. They actually ended up gifting me something, and I was so grateful that they didn't say that I had to like record anything, because I'm really big on like ethical stuff, and like if people I know don't like fuck with a certain brand, like I'm not gonna be like, this is the best brand that I've worked with. I'm a little bit wary about that, but at the end of the day, like I can still accept something as long as I'm not promoting it in a sense where like I know that I don't like it, because I'm never gonna do that. Keys Soul Care, this was actually Alicia Keys' brand. And so another thing that I want to also mention is that sometimes the brand itself is not going to email you for a pitch. Sometimes there's agencies that reach out to you. So that's actually what I'm studying, so public relations. I really do want to go into influencer relations and influencer marketing. And so sometimes there will be like an influencer agency that'll send you a product. You don't really know what it is, but they're like, hey, we would love to add you on your PR list. Some of those agencies, I can't even think about them now, like Soy Agency, Zach Communications, 2 Milk 1 Sugar. There's a lot of small agencies in Toronto that will reach out to you to add you to a PR list, and they won't even tell you. They'll just be like, what is your email? You send the email, then randomly you have like a product at your door, and you're like, oh, that's so cool. No obligations to post, and we love that. So I got Keys Soul Care. They sent me a huge package. I think it was one of the biggest packages that I've ever gotten, aside from the drinks that I got, like the alcoholic drinks. They sent me like three literally boxes of like alcohol beverages, and I literally still have 2 boxes downstairs. It was way too much, but yeah, they were really fun as well. I love their skincare, and I ended up actually posting content that I did not get, like I didn't need to, but I still did because I really liked it. So next is actually Kiehl's, like Kiehl's Canada. I was really excited to see this, but they do not pay influencers. I'm really not for big brands like this who don't pay influencers. It's actually really frustrating. They actually sent me an email literally to collaborate, and if I could read this to you, I would, but I won't. But they basically are like, yeah, we don't have a budget for it. And I'm like, how do you not have a budget but you're asking me to post? Like, it's not, we don't do nothing for free anymore, you guys. We don't do it. So at this point, I'm gonna put my foot down and just be like, I love your brand, and I hate turning shit down, but I know that I'm worth more than just gifted products and me posting on your behalf. Like, absolutely not. So Paula's Choice, I got some skincare from them. It was a gifting. I did not have to post it. Grown Alchemist, I also collaborated with them. They actually don't really have a social media presence, which was really odd. Like, when they sent me products, it was mostly to review and let them know how I like them, and I absolutely loved it. I ended up posting about them because, again, the point is to post things that you genuinely like. It doesn't always have to be paid. To be honest, I'd rather my audience see me post things that I genuinely like than be like, hey, ad. You don't want to be like that. Revolve was my first like fashion brand. And honest to God, what was even crazy about Revolve is that like I was like, why me? I don't even post fashion like that. So that's why I say when you're unniched, any and every brand can literally send you things. It doesn't have to be always skincare. And that's why I love the fact that I can do everything, is because I love to accept everything. Like why you think I'm gonna turn Revolve down just because I don't do fashion hauls? No, I'm gonna pivot and we're gonna do some fashion hauls and show y'all a couple fashion looks. So what they do is they do paid advertising, but they also do gifting. So you'll get like a certain amount of money for the month and you can spend that on their clothes to then promote their clothes. And their quality is insane. Like I already have so much from them and I'm like, wait, this quality is really good. So I'm really excited for summer because I know for a fact that I'm gonna be literally buying a lot from Revolve now. And now it gets to some of the crazier ones. Okay, cool. So Ana Luisa, that is a jewelry brand. I absolutely love the jewelry that they send me. The quality is really, really good. They do not pay small creators. However, I was able to finesse a payment after the 3rd collaboration because they constantly are emailing creators about doing gifted collaborations, and I truly feel like everyone accepts it because they know that their quality is there. But I've seen like really big creators like promote them and I'm like, they got paid. There's no way that they do this for free, so there's no way I should do this for free. So I did a collaboration with them on Instagram and YouTube. My Instagram video did really well. My YouTube video did not. It was one of my 5-minute videos that I did for Christmas. I decided that I was no longer doing those 5-minute videos, even though I really felt like people could take 5 minutes out of their day to watch versus like 30 minutes, which is like this video. So I kind of was a little confused how come it didn't do well, and because it didn't do well, they decided that they wanted to go back to a gifting. And I told them absolutely not, because there's brands that are paying me like $1,000. There's no reason for you to pay me $0 when another brand that literally is asking me for less, and when I say less, it's like no Instagram video, nothing like that, is paying me money. So no, we're not gonna do it. So I said no to that. And we move on. Merit Beauty, that was really exciting. This was my first paid YouTube collaboration that was actually like worth it. I love their products. They are in Sephora, and I normally do either YouTube or TikTok for them. Keurig Canada was hell, oh hell. I would never in my life partner with Keurig Canada again. And it's so funny because just like the other day, they were in the news for not being like ethical because they claim that they're like sustainable when they're actually fucking not. This was the worst brand that I've ever worked with and the worst agency that I've ever worked with. The agency is national PR. I'm putting them on blast because they were the worst freaking agency to ever work with. It sucks for me because I would love, as a PR professional emerging into this field, I would love to work there because they work with Sephora, they worked with a lot of brands, but honest to God, I saw it go. I'm not working with them ever again. Not only did they ignore me when it came to my payment, they had me like talking to so many people about the content, because a lot of the times as a content creator, you have to like send your video for approval first. And when I kid you not, we were going back and forth I was going back and forth with so many different people, and then when it came to payment, nobody could be found. And you know what I did, you guys? What I did was I ended up sharing that email thread with the VP ahead of the National Public Relations, whatever. And the minute I send it, 2 seconds later, I got a response saying they're sorry. I'm like, no, pay your creators. It doesn't work like that. And I've seen other creators who've done gifting. For me, I've done paid collaboration. They never gifted me that thing. They paid me. So it's like when I see them do gifting, I'm like, I'm letting y'all know right now, beware of this brand. And then the other ones, I'm just gonna go quickly. Zoda's Professional was a hair care company that I did. They just wanted a video. This was gifted. And Dr. Guinness Cross, they did not have a budget, which sucked, and I really love their products, but I did have to turn them down. But they were nice enough to say, hey, like, we still actually want to just send you stuff. So for me, I ended up getting those stuff, falling in love with it, and sharing it to you guys. So yeah, hopefully that helped. Those were some of the brands that I've worked with that I feel like are worth sharing and had some value into my content creation. They changed the way that I see how I do my content. So yeah, hopefully that helped, and now we can go into the next question. Okay, so the next question is, hey girl, I was just wondering, when it comes to paid partnerships with brands, how do you go about it and calculating your worth? Also, how is it like editing videos? I feel like that would be the worst part for me. Okay, so first and foremost, I would suggest the MacBook Pro over the MacBook Air. The MacBook Pro has a little bit more tools and I'm gonna say more strength to have these larger freaking documents that you're gonna end up having when you start video editing. You'll realize that you have so much things on your desktop, it's insane. I use my MacBook to edit. I also have a USB cord that a lot of people have actually asked me about. I didn't even think it was that interesting. I don't have it right now, it's downstairs. But I use that to take my USB from my camera and I place it in here instead of using a cord. I like the idea of like separating like my phone chargers from like my camera equipment. I think that's just easier for me. But if you are looking about like all the camera equipment and things I use, I do have an Amazon store link below so you can see the equipment that I have used, because half of them are from Amazon. But to edit, I started off with my phone, and I want to stress the fact that you don't need to buy a camera right away. But if you are someone who values quality, then it most likely is beneficial for you to pay for a camera. I have a Canon G7X. I would rate it an 8 out of 10. And as you guys learned like 2 clips ago, I did break it, and that's just my fault. It wasn't actually something that was faulty, not on literally anything around, but I generally love it. Another camera is a Sony VZ1, I believe. A lot of UK content creators have switched from Canon G7X to the Sony one, and they think it's great. The only thing that's the difference is that when I'm looking at you, I can easily look at myself, because the what's it called, the like camera flip is like right behind the lens, versus the Sony where it's on the side. So you might tend to see people like look over here, and you don't want to do that. And that's also a problem when you're starting to use your phone, is that when you are recording, you want to record horizontal and you tend to look at yourself, but when you're actually recording, you'll realize that you're not even really looking at your audience. It looks like your eyes are like to the side a little bit, and you really just want to be able to connect this way instead of actually like looking over to the side and talking. So that's one thing that I realized that I hated about my phone, and one of the reasons why I decided to get a camera. When it comes to editing, I actually use Final Cut Pro. I did pay for this. I used to use Sorry, I lied. I used to use iMovie, and I just felt like I was limited. I just felt like there was not a lot of fonts. The quality, like the things that you can do, the clips and the green screens, like I just felt like I was limited on iMovie. It definitely was a transition at first. I remember for the first month being like, I love iMovie, like I hate this Final Cut Pro, but now I'm like, ew, like iMovie is just ghetto. I just don't like it. I just feel like it just like downgrades everything. The way I can edit on Final Cut Pro has just made my videos so much better. The font, everything that I can do on there is really, really nice. So it kind of reminds me of Canva, like the creative freedom of being able to kind of like see what type of fonts you want. You can do the type over effect, you can do green screens, you can like change the colors so that there's like graphics coming in. So I definitely want to play around with that in my new videos, using a lot of like comments and like things and like green screens. I want to just use more of that when it comes to that. It definitely is patience. I tend to get in the zone when I'm editing, and I personally love it. Okay, I love finding copyright free music. I love finding a vibe to the, like, I just love it all. I freaking love it. So yeah. The other question was, how do you know your worth? And I feel like you don't really know your worth until you step into everything. So it kind of touches on what I was talking about earlier. Like, you don't, like, if you're going into content creation just being like, I want to make money, I just feel like you're gonna always get the end of the stick. Like, it's just you're gonna see it that all you want is money, because it's things that are not authentic to you. So you want to make sure that you have the quality, you show up, you know, you show your face, and you do things that are not just like voiceover. You try different things, you come on camera, you talk about whatever, and you just keep trying until you find something that's like in your groove. But I would definitely say, like, when it comes to partnerships and working with brands, your goal right now is building your resume. It should not be focusing on money. It should be on the quality content that you feel like you can provide people, because really and truly your goal is to influence. As an influencer, micro influencer, nano influencer, you want to influence, meaning you want people to learn and take what you're like teaching them and like do something with it, right? Not a lot of people are going to do that. And if you feel like you've already not a person who can't influence, it's going to be hard to influence anybody. Let's just start there. Yeah, but hopefully that answered your question. So what are your weekly, monthly post goals? In a pandemic, this question has become so hard for me, because when I tell you I did not skip a week, I was consistent queen. I was questioning why all these other creators were going monthly. I was like, girl, if you don't pick up that camera and record. I was literally not skipping a freaking question. I was literally not skipping a week, like, ever. The pandemic hit and I felt like it became challenging for me. And going back to what I said earlier, when you start off, you can talk about everything, but when you develop to a certain point where like now you don't know what to talk about, you then have to become creative, and that's the struggle. That's the harder part. So I try my best. I try to go every 2 weeks, every 3 weeks if I can, because as I said, we're in a pandemic. There really isn't much that you can do now, you know. And now that it's had some time working for yourself, how do you feel about it? Oh my gosh, this is crazy. It's hard. Okay, I'm gonna be real transparent with you guys. As I said earlier, you don't see money sometimes until months later, and me pushing this full time really and truly does not mean that I'm seeing millions and billions and billions of dollars. It really does not mean that. It means that I'm dedicating my time to my school and my time to my content creation, because when I was working, I was there and I was thinking about other things. I was thinking about all the content that I could do and all the videos that I feel like I couldn't catch up because people were posting like 6 times a day, and I was like, what the fuck, like I'm here all day, I don't want to be here. So I feel like for me it's more of a mindset and it's a mentality thing. Like, I'm very, very happy that I've pivoted into this career, and I feel like it's more about that than the money that I'm seeing, because as I said, it's really hard. And ask any content creator, any influencer, whoever, they're gonna say you could be like pushing out content in January and you don't see that money until April, and that's the hardest part about it. You guys, I literally forgot how to reach out to brands as a small content creator. Okay, whoa, wait, I'm like going through that. I'm like, there's so many. Okay, to answer this question, I feel like I kind of touched on this, I don't remember, but I used to pitch to brands, and the brands that I used to pitch to would be through DM on Instagram, or if I can find like a direct like PR list contact, then I would directly just email them. And so what I would say is, like, mind you, I don't do this anymore. I just truly feel like people who are gonna come to me are gonna pay me, so I'd rather not be like, hey, my name is Aaliyah, my name's Aaliyah, because then it's hard to be like, my name's Aaliyah, but can you pay me $700 for a video? It's just, it's like they didn't ask for it. So, you know, so I find like the more you pitch, the more you're getting like gifted collaborations, and I no longer do that. So I just accept anything that like emails that I get now. But when I was doing it, I would say like, hi, my name is Aaliyah, I'm a digital content creator or influencer from Toronto. I always say Toronto just because I live here and it's easier for shipping. If I say Montreal, then I give a Toronto address, you get me. So I just recently, oh sorry, no, I would then say like, I love this product that you guys like have, and I've been sharing it with my audience, and here are some interactions that I've got from it. So I would like screenshot like the interactions, not the comments specifically, but I would show my analytics, because that basically tells them like, okay, yeah, this posted really well, and I would love to work with you on a collaboration or like be a part of your influencer list. Looking forward to, you know, chatting a bit more, whatever. And that's how I would go about pitching, right? And I would do that like 16 times a day. I remember I was sending everything, even like follow-up. So like, hi, just double checking that you received this. Like, I would follow up, girl, and every time I did that, that shit worked. So when I tell you, like, you can literally pitch to a brand and keep pitching and get your foot into the door, you can do it as long as you're posting content that aligns with them as well and aligns with you. That is your resume. And I've said this already, you need to build your resume. You can't just expect money to come in right away and brands to say yes to you without actually having some sort of portfolio. So when it comes to rejecting an email, this is like the craziest part, because I can't believe that I actually have done this a few times, because you think that as a content creator you want to accept everything, but there's brands that like have reached out to me and I'm like, I know that they don't know what I do. I'm so sorry. Unfortunately, I am like prioritizing paid collaborations. If there is any opportunity to collab, if let's say it is gifted, if there's any opportunity to collab on a paid collaboration, you can email me or whatever. And most times I respond back like, hi Aaliyah, thank you so much, like at the moment we don't have a budget, but we definitely will keep you in mind. And they definitely circle back. They do circle back. So just keep that in mind, that sometimes it is okay to decline something as long as it aligns with the stuff that you'd like to talk about. Now the next question is, how did you get your brand deals? How did you negotiate? So when it comes to negotiating, so let's say for example you've passed that stage where it's like, I would love to work with you. They do not ask you for a media kit. This is the one thing I hate about fucking influencers. Sorry. But they like how to create a media, and it's always the new girls who just started and they're on TikTok. How to create a media kit for brands. No brand is asking you for a media kit. I haven't had a big brand or a small brand ask me for a media kit in forever, okay? It's a waste of time. It literally is like a snitch to like media. It basically tells everybody how much you charge for certain things, and I'm like, no, because sometimes you don't realize that you could be undervaluing yourself. Another person could be accepting $1,000 and you accepted like $300 for that. Absolutely not. So the way you're gonna do this, and I'm literally telling you, write this down right now. The way you're going to do this to negotiate is say, what is your budget? You need to ask this before they ask you. You can't have a brand be like, we're paying $300 for content creators. Absolutely not. You say, hi, thank you so much for reaching out to me. I would love to know your budget. That's how you know how much they're willing to pay. Because listen to this. I've had a time when, there was a time when I first started and I was like, oh, I'll just accept $200. And a brand was like, our brand was like, oh, our budget is $5, and then their budget was $600, and I was gonna charge them $200. And I was like, yes, thank you, that aligns with me. Like, you're literally underpaying yourself when you give them a freaking rate card. Don't do that. Don't do it. If a brand says, I would love to know how much you charge, you don't send them your rate card. You tell them, ask them what their budget is, and then you tell them in the email. That is how you can negotiate, and you guys can go back and forth, and then you come up with the deliverables. You read over the contract. That's one of the hardest parts, is making sure that in these contracts with these big words, you actually understand everything, because there could be some times where like you miss something and all of a sudden they're like, hi Leah, we have rights to this video for a year, and they're like, no, I would have asked for more money if you had rights for a year. Because that's what happens a lot too. Like, you might think like, oh, I got paid $800 for this reel. Whole time they have ads on it and they're pushing it through stores and whatever, making more money off of you, and you don't even know it because you accepted it. You know what I mean? So just making sure you're reading the contract. But yeah, honest to God, that's how I negotiate. I always ask for the budget first, and it always wins for me. I do not accept anything less. My minimum, transparent and all to you guys, my minimum for content is 500, and I still don't feel like I push for 500. I always push for more. I always push for more, and it works. And if it doesn't work, it's like slightly off, and that's still fine for me. But again, you still don't see that money right away. How did you find the courage to not give a fuck what your community thinks? Baby, when I tell you I care. I care. I care. It's so hard to not care. Everything I post, I'm analyzing it. I'm like, oh my God, can they see my booger? Or like, can they see something? Or like, is something weird? Is this hair sticking out? Ask any of my friends. I'm like, how's this picture? Do you like this picture? What does my foot look like? Does my foot look ashy? It drives you nuts, okay? So yeah, no, I definitely care, but I really truly appreciate this question, because it makes me feel that it looks like I don't. And that just tells me already that I am as authentic as I can be, because honest to God, I care, and I'm very sensitive. So I'm like, no, we're not doing that. How long have you been doing social media? So 3 years. But I would always say that I've always been that girl to post. So I never like not posted, or I never was active. Like, I was very active. How did you get your first brand deal? Did YouTube become a factor in that? So yes, I did answer that question. So YouTube did become a factor in that. And yeah, overall, I'm like really grateful. I hope that you guys found this information beneficial. And yeah, like I feel like I'm missing something. But again, I'm gonna create this series, and it's gonna be called like day in the life of like a micro influencer in Toronto. I'm gonna push for it, because I truly feel like there's a window for Black creators who are in this micro influencer space, and it's not being filled, okay? Because everyone is so like aesthetic. Everyone is like trying to be like that white girl living in a condo in Toronto with everything white, with pretty flowers, and like they wake up with their morning routine. Not everybody is like that. I still live at home. One day I'm gonna move out, and it's gonna happen. I'm not like postponing it, but it's gonna happen. I don't have the most aesthetic house. Like, it's very black, it's very Caribbean, you know what I mean? Like, there's not like white walls and like dandelions, but like, you know what I mean? You have to make it work as a content creator. You have to shape shift, and I say it all the time. You have to try new things, and it's just putting it in perspective that so do I need to try new things. I need to step out of my comfort zone. I used to pack a bag of clothes and go take pictures, but now I'm realizing like that's not the kind of girl that I want to be. And I know that like a lot of girls that I follow, that they do that, and their posts do really well, and I'm really proud of them, but it's so hard for me to like put on makeup and just go take pictures. Like, I want to be able to be authentically like in a space and be like, oh, this is cute, let me take a picture. Because if you realize your big creators, that's what they're doing. Your big creators are not packing bags to take pictures by a bush, okay? It's such a micro-influencer mindset. It works for some people, like great for you to do it, but again, it's not for me. And this just basically says that like not everything is going to be for you. You're not going to always have what everyone else has. Your following might not be what everyone else has. You know, it might be slow for brands to start reaching out and contacting you, but just think about quality. Just think about the things that you... With that being said, this was supposed to be a get ready with me. My phone is literally on 6%. My camera's about to die, and it's 4 p.m. and I wanted to be downtown by 5. So I'm definitely very, very behind, but I really truly hope that this helps you. And now we're going to turn the fuck up, bitch, because it's Valentine's Day weekend and I need to get my makeup done and go out to dinner, you know, get spoiled